showtime.
It's been a while. We is back, baby. We is back, baby. What up with your Dizzle Wayne? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my guy.
All right.
What's going on, peoples?
Make sure.
Prime waves.
Gotta make. I'm mad because I ain't had time to add my clapping effect into my board.
Oh, that's okay.
I literally just got back home, so it's like, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can improvise and do it live now.
Go ahead, brother. Might as well. Might as well. You know what I mean? Might as well.
Nigga, what?
You know what I mean? Might as well.
My well.
Like what now? Well.
Oh, never mind. I gotta update my mixer. I'll do that after the show. So, no. Sound effects.
I'll give him the manual claps.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So, whoops, see Daisy. My bad.
Whoops, we did it.
What up, creeps?
What it do though? What it do though? How we looking, man? We spiffy enough for this end of the year awards? Y'all gotta let us know, dog. Y'all gotta let us know. What we looking like, man? What we looking like? Ugh. Forgot my wrist piece. Dang. All good. We live, baby. We live. Hey, man. Look at that. Hey. Well, there it is now. Uh-oh. We gotta look at that. Hurt business, street business, evolution. My guy jamming, and I can't even hear nothing, so I'm right there with it. I'm a jam too. There it is, baby. No, well, you know. Bang, 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 bang. Shh. Don't tell nobody. Uh-oh. For those with the benefit of flash photography. All right, that's enough of that there. Say what? Say who? Uh-oh. Are we having technical difficulties? Check. Mic check. Oh, meter's moving. People in the chat, can you hear me? Can you hear Gresh? We live. We in here. We ready to roll. Yeah. It's like, what the heck, man? Whoa. It's me. It's DDP. Nope. Well, Looks like it's a solo show in the moment until we get our boy Gresh back. So, what do you want to talk about? Oh, that's right. The end of the year awards, baby. I want to know who y'all got for some of these categories, man. Who y'all think gonna take some of these categories? Y'all tell me. We here. We ready. Solo dolo. And it's live. So I'm here. Somebody talk. We ready. Adjust it up. Smooth cut, baby. Pick your brain. Up top. Up top. Third annual.
All right, we're back.
Hey, what up? What up, though?
Technology just decided to. Good Lord.
Yeah, dog.
Glitch out on me for some reason.
They wanted to get you, man. They wanted to get you.
Tried to mess us up. Luckily, it was in the beginning, not during the middle of the show, the actual show. So we Gucci on that. I see MFB talking about I'm pulling out my best Stevie Wonder cosplay. All right, nigga.
Oh, my boy out here getting flamed tonight, man.
They cooking you.
They flaming you, my guy. What you do to the people? What you do to the people, man? Why they flaming you?
I don't know. Hey, I just got back from vacation. Like
I'm on my vacation, man. I want some mushu. Mushu, you hungry?
No, mushu. I want some women, man. Shout out Dragon and Henny for keeping your boy locked down while I was off the grid. Everybody was dealing with their own BS, so you already know. Before we lose people because of the technical difficulties, we might as well go ahead and try to get the show on the road. We less than 7 minutes in, so let's go ahead and cue the intro.
Feeling like GRESH UNLEASHED. When the club go around here, I'm a cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. GRESH UNLEASHED, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Yellow, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like GRESH UNLEASHED.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the GRESH Unleashed podcast. This is episode 53 of this show, and this is a special edition. The best way to end out the year, it is by bringing you the third annual end of the year awards. This is part one of a part two crossover podcasting special. It kicks off officially here on the GRESH Unleashed podcast, and it culminates over on the Likes of Box podcast with my main man, my right-hand man, one of my ooses from the day one-ish, no pun intended, to Main Event Jay. This is my main man, my partner, the voice of the highlight Unleashed anthem song for this illustrious podcast. My main man, Highlight Real. What's good with your brother?
What's going on, good peoples? You know what it is, man. We in here pretty spiffy. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to hand out some fellow awards because it's about that time. You feel me? About that time.
Shout out to Chris for basically memeing my technical difficulties at the top of the live stream.
Hey, my boy's meme.
Go ahead and quote it because it is kind of funny. So, I mean, that's what happens when we're live. It's just like, yeah, I don't even know what was the song. I hate him. I hate him. He memed me with the Street Profits new theme song.
There it is, baby. There it is.
But yo, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know, and now you know, this is the third annual end of the year awards, where we basically give the flowers out to the people, the good professional wrestlers, entertainers, etc., etc. You give them their ultimate flowers, and that's pretty much, it's all fun and games. Nothing more, nothing less. For those of you who don't know, to expand upon how we conduct the end of the year awards, the first two times we have switched it up a little bit this year, as so we can continue the tradition. We want to make sure there is a vote in place. So basically, I vote, Dwayne votes, and in case of a draw, we just flip a coin. We just say heads, tail, whatever. I'll pull up the app on my laptop, and then we just flip a coin, and I'll be like heads, tail. We
Hey.
trust each other. We have no reason to lie, and this is completely unbiased. So that's how we're going to do. Basically, this is how it's going to set up in the category of having multiple companies eligible. Like example, the pay-per-view match of the year has multiple matches from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and Impact. We will vote for each company, and then once we get an equal, like either we have someone go automatically across, or we have an equal, then I write down the winners, and then we just run it back again, and then vote indefinitely for the ultimate winner. It's pretty simple. And basically, we have 30 seconds to like vote. So it's like we have to like, okay, we have to crunch it. Be like, hey, here's our vote, and we go from there. And also, for those of you who voted on the viewers' choice categories, they will be sprinkled. The winners will be sprinkled throughout the entire show. The graphics will be posted on social media. Like I said, I just got back from vacation. I didn't have time to create any overlays for winners, but they will be uploaded literally after the show. So we're gonna be here for the next 2 hours or so. Hopefully, we'll get you in and out. It's a fun time, fun experience. But before we get started, what you excited to talk about the most for the category?
Ooh, man, there's so many. Overall superstar of the year. I feel like that'll be a fun one because a lot of people have had a dope year this year, I think. Definitely looking forward to breakout star of the year for sure, because we've had a lot of breakouts for sure. And probably LOL moment of the year too, because what a year this has been for a lot of LOLs, if you know what I mean, brother. So yeah. This is gonna be real fun as we get into the lick of things. Pause.
You already know. He said, "Let's nobody get Bret Hart at this award show." No, it's an even playing field. Like if we are completely unbiased. We don't hold favoritism to one company. There are some companies that the nominees aren't as high as far as like more prominent, because we don't watch all companies like that. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't watch New Japan like that. I watch a couple matches. Wrestle Kingdom, because it's pretty much become a form of television, and I don't really keep up with Stardom. I would like to, but I don't have it. And there's stuff like that. So it'll definitely be some representation for artists. But for those of you who want to be caught up with some of the categories, for the host categories, we got male superstar of the year, female superstar of the year. This year, for the first time, male NXT superstar of the year and female NXT superstar of the year. Overall superstar of the year, breakout moment, biggest surprise, biggest WCF, LOL, extreme. We are honestly going to give our praise and tribute to Unleashed Legends. We've had some dope names entered. That's pretty much, for those of you who don't know, that's pretty much our version of the Hall of Fame. So if you don't if you want to know what that is, it's basically us giving our flowers to those who we've lost pretty much this year. So stuff like that. And also the listener's choice is basically pretty much same standard. We got the non-binary, LGBTQIA plus superstar wrestler of the year, faction of the year, return of the year, best Twitter game, independent company getting their praises, male, female, independent talent wrestler of the year. For those of you who didn't know, because I know I saw some people voted NA, like they didn't know what was going on. It's basically if you follow the indie scene at your local, whether it's Cali, New York, uh, the Carolinas, wherever, you basically give praise and vote for your local superstar, and whoever gets the most gets superstar of the year. Last year we had BoJack representing North Carolina, so it's like stuff like that. But we broke it down into two categories this year instead of one single category. Pretty straightforward, huh?
Oh yeah.
So might as well go for it. Shout out to Henny. He texted me. He dared me to gain 2 pounds because he said I need to get bigger.
You got this, my guy.
Love you, brother. Love you, brother. Thank you for calling me skinny. Big ass. Anyway, for part one, we might as well go ahead and break it out. We might as well go ahead and start, get the ball rolling. We might as well start off hot. Male Superstar of the Year. Got some many nominees. You don't have the list in front of you, so I might as well go ahead and run down. Male Superstar of the Year. The nominees are Roman Reigns, WWE. Seth freaking Rollins, WWE. MJF, AEW. Jey Uso, WWE. CM Punk, WWE/AEW, because he's literally been in 2 companies this year. Hangman Adam Page, AEW. Swerve Strickland, AEW. Sami Zayn, LA Knight. Cody Rhodes, Christian Cage. Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Alex Shelley, Speedball, Mike Bailey, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. That's pretty stacked nominees, if I say so myself.
Sheesh. I say, sheesh. Yeah, my brother gonna make me break the list out. Hold on, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to remember all these babies. Hold on now. Wait a minute.
Hey, we gotta take this serious. Like, we gotta be serious here. Like, we don't have to
serious.
Look nice. We gotta act nice. We gotta act unbiased.
You know, and it's kind of like, man, you know, we gotta find out who's gonna be the person to take home this entire award. So, how are we doing this, my brother? In terms of
you have 60 seconds to plead your case and why you can't vote, and vice versa.
Okay.
And if we both agree with 2 apiece, this person is superstar of the year. Male superstar of the year. Pretty that simple.
Okay.
So you want to go first, or should I go first?
Let me let you go first because I want to hear your case on who you got here.
Okay. All right. As much as I want to acknowledge the tribal chief as male superstar of the year, this brother ain't really been there. And if I'm looking at it from his matches, I've been very vocal about his matches ain't really been getting for me personally. So he's more than likely not going to get my vote. Seth Rollins, he's been cooking in ring wise, but I don't know. It's so much talent that I feel like deserves this more. MJF, his current storyline with the devil isn't my favorite, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact that some of his best work was earlier in this year with the Bryan Danielson and stuff. I'm gonna keep it a stat. After his string of matches, I'm gonna throw some people off of this. I'm gonna have to give my vote for male superstar of the year to Orange Cassidy. That man has been cooking as international champion before he lost to John Moxley, and unfortunately, Mox got injured. But I would be foolish to not acknowledge this man has been cooking in that ring as far as male talent, international champion, cooking, having bangers after bangers, and I don't say this whole half-ass either. Like I can confidently give that to Orange Cassidy. Who you got?
Ooh, man. Looking through all of this list, first let me say that I actually like the choice that you selected with Orange Cassidy. A very dark horse choice to go with. And for me, when I look at what I'm looking at, I, for one, am going to go a little opposite here. And although I like your choice in this category. I am going to choose Sami Zayn.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because there has not really been much of a moment like the moment we got, the moment he turned on the bloodline. And that pop, that roar that we received from the momentum of carrying the end of last year in the bloodline storyline, carrying into this year with the build-up leading to what happened eventually at the Royal Rumble, to what then happened even more at the Elimination Chamber, to then what happened at WrestleMania with the tag team championship match. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, you know, the title run fell a little flat in its moments, but they did have some bangers in between. You know, them and the Street Profits had a nice little banger on Raw. They had some low-key bangers in their title run. It's just, I know it was kind of still at times, but Sami Zayn, even after the way they separated them, we see that Sami Zayn's still very beloved by the fans, and you can already tell that he's getting to that point, you know, after he gets back from this time off. I know he took some time off on the latter part of this year, but you can already tell he's already prepping and bracing himself for what's probably going to be really crazy. And that's not also counting his going back to his homeland and the ovations he's gotten as the hometown hero, if you will, in Saudi Arabia as well. So taking account the international factor on top of Montreal and what he got out there. So you talk about fan reaction, you talk about some match bangers. He's had some killer matches with Drew McIntyre as well. And just, yeah, it just seems like Sami Zayn.
True. I respect that decision. As you go mute that background noise real quick. I'm gonna pull up this wheel. I'm going to pull up this wheel to so people can see that I'm not trying to. Let me see if I got it on here. Window. I don't see the tab. So how you gonna tell me to share the wheel if I can't show the tab? Okay, we don't need music. So I'm gonna pull up. We live, baby. I'm gonna pull up the wheel.
Okay.
So far, like I said, like if there's in the case of a tie, we're gonna spin the wheel, and whomever it lands on is the official winner of this category. So let's go ahead and click spin and see what they got. Ding. So officially, both categories and both reasonings was a good selection, but if Bill had made the sudden death decision, Orange Cassidy representing AEW, the current, I believe, AEW International Champion, is the male superstar of the year. Congratulations to AEW Orange Cassidy for that one. Next up, we're going to switch over to the ladies' side of the superstar of the year, and that is the female superstar of the year. And the nominees for this year's female superstar of the year is Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Chelsea Green, as Samantha Urban would say, Natalia, Mercedes Moné, Julia, Trinity, Deonna Purrazzo, Tasha Steelz, Jordan Grace, Athena, Willow Nightingale, Billy Starks, Hikaru Shida, Timeless Tony Storm, Julia Hart, Ruby Soho, Saraya, and Mercedes Martinez. So, to kick off this go round, I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one.
Well, thank you, my brother. So right off the rip, I'm gonna say that this is a solid list. Congrats to all the ladies that made this category. And there's so many more, but like I said, there's only so many you can fit in one category. So to anyone who did not make this does not mean they did not deserve this title of this moniker, but we got to narrow down these categories. So for me, looking at this list off top, I am going to choose, ladies and gentlemen, Athena as my overall female superstar of the year. Now, not gonna lie, I was almost leaning towards Toni Storm. I know some may say, well, why not Toni Storm? But in the case of Toni Storm's current character, and yes, the in-ring has always been there, but with her current character, it's took a while. You know, it was a slow evolution, and it got hot maybe midway through the year going into the latter part. But with Athena, although the one weakness is that we did not see enough of it on television, her exactly her consistency throughout this entire year, putting on banger after banger, having the longest reigning that is still going on, I do believe. So still with her reign, and on top of that, just one of the best overall storylines in women's wrestling this entire year. So when you're taking those combinations, Athena, to me, out of all of these ladies, deserves this award single-handedly.
Oh yeah, I actually, it's funny how you mentioned that because I had so many toss-ups. Like as far as popularity, I want to give Rhea Ripley my vote, but it's like the limited matches or match of the year or the quality matches that she's had. No fault of her own or no fault of her opponents, and more so the booking. Because outside of the Charlotte Flair match at WrestleMania and the match that she had with Natalya on a random episode of Raw, the title reign ain't really been my cup of tea. Like as far as the overall aura and presence of Rhea Ripley is top. It's one of the best. Io Sky is pretty much in the same boat as far as like I'm pretty much singling out champions. Io Sky is pretty much in the same boat as far as like she hasn't, like, she just got pinned by Misha and Mia Yim on SmackDown this past Friday, and it's like, I don't know, I'm not really vibing with that, and it's more so not because it's like she's pretty much attached to a group that is either hit or miss. Like they ain't really been dominant in my book. So and so many talented, like Trinity and Impact. Like a lot of people don't really watch Impact, but I can tell you she's been cooking. Her match with Deonna Purrazzo at Slammiversary, her match with Mickie James at Bound for Glory, some of her best work that I actually had the honor of seeing. But I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much not have a tie in this situation. I'm gonna have to give praise and my vote to Athena because representing Ring of Honor. I would say AEW. She signed AEW, but she's more so Ring of Honor, the current longest reigning AEW or Ring of Honor women's champion. And it's like what I honor, or not even honor, but more so respect from her reign is that even when she has squash matches on like ROH TV, she gives her adversary some type of offense. Not more so because she can't beat them straight up, is because she wants them to basically show what they can do, and she will sell for you. With, like, it could be a 5-minute squat. She was like, okay, there's 5 minutes that we have to make this stretch. You have me for 2 minutes. Make an impression, and that's what I'm getting from every match that I've seen of her on TV. And then her match with Willow Nightingale. What was it? It was Honor Club, wasn't it? The Super Card of Honor, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like her match with that, and then she had the story with Billy Starks, like her minion, and that story. Like I know people were kind of mixed when it comes to how Athena retained, but if you actually caught up with the storyline and actually understood what they were trying to tell, it makes sense for her to retain. So our vote officially is for Athena to be the female superstar of the year without question.
Congrats to Athena.
Now we're going to take it back to switch it over to the viewer's choice. Our first viewer's choice category was the LGBTQIA plus Superstar / Wrestler of the Year, and we had 38 votes. We've had 14 votes for Fred Rosser, formerly known as Darren Young in WWE. We
Yes, sir.
had one vote for Pat Patterson for some reason, even though that man has been dead for rest in peace for a couple of years. We had one for Effie. We had 6 for Sunny Kiss, even though some people spelled it completely wrong. They were spelling it Sunny instead of Sonny. But once again, for the second year in a row, the Superstar Wrestler of the Year is none other than Anthony Bowens with 16 votes. He won last year and he won again this year. He's a two-time winner. Two-time.
Two-time. Okay.
So congratulations to Anthony Bowens for winning that one. Yay, people voted for you. So it's like, congrats, my brother. Congrats.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Next up, we're going to switch it over to NXT, the show that we usually follow every Tuesday, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we decided to go a little early because of the end of the year awards. We want to get this out the way and pretty much bring you guys this content that while I've been away. So we're going to start off with the male superstar, NXT Superstar of the Year. And the nominees are Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Wesley, Dijak, Ilya Dragunov, Noam Dar, Nathan Frazier, Axiom, and Tyler Bates.
Well, I guess it's your turn, my brother, to present your case. So you up next, my guy. Pun intended.
All right. So, if I have to be completely 100% honest with you, I love Wesley. I'm torn between Wesley and Ilya Dragunov without question. I love Wesley, and unfortunately, he went down with a back injury, and he's going to be out more than likely for the next year or so. But Ilya Dragunov to me, feels like a well-rounded superstar that's going to be up next on the main roster if they ever pull the trigger on him. We'll see in 2024. But my vote, honestly, is with Ilya Dragunov. His trilogy with Carmelo Hayes was some of his best work, especially. And it's like I can't even put into words how much I loved his back and forth, his 2 matches with Volta or Gunther now. So Dragunov has my vote.
Okay. Excellent choice. And ooh, boy, I'm not gonna lie. This is a bit of a tough category, man. You can definitely make a case for a little bit of every man on this list in different ways. I almost, for one, wanted to say Axiom at one point because of a lot of batches I've peeped from him and how he's projecting. But at the same time, due to the inconsistencies of putting him on television, whether it was for just further development or any kind of injuries, things like that, that kind of disqualified him from me. Wesley, again, I can see your point on that. Definitely wanted to go that route as well, but the back injury does kind of take that out of account. So, like you, my brother, I got to give this one to Ilya Dragunov, man. I mean, Dijak, Baron Corbin, Carmelo Hayes. I mean, heck, Nathan Frazier. I mean, just about
there's no real loser on this category list. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, almost every person on this list, Dragunov has wrestled, and he's put on bangers with. So it's like, how can you not go with the Dragon, man? He is putting on bangers and making a case to some people, as you mentioned, with a main roster point of why he maybe should be the person to take that title off of Gunther. Who knows?
Like, because they just did this storyline with Ridge that we talked about last week. That could be their way of writing him off NXT TV. They want to go that route and have him make his triumphant return on the main roster. Who knows? That's the beauty behind being a wrestling fan. You don't know.
That is true. And with that, looks like we come to yet another agreement. Therefore, there is no need for a tiebreaker in this instance. So on to the next category we go.
Let's do it. Female NXT Superstar of the Year. The nominees are Lyra Valkyria, Blair Davenport, Lash Legend, Kelani Jordan, Kiana James, Lola Vice, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez, Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, Electra Lopez, and Ariana Grace. You want to start with this one, my brother?
Yeah, it's amazing. I keep getting the ladies first. It's kind of funny, but so again, very solid list here, and congrats to all of these ladies in this category. Congrats to the future ladies that will be in this category come next year. But we're sticking to this year because that's what this is all about this year. And based off this list of categories, I have to go with none other than Miss Tiffany Stratton. Yes, I'm choosing the blonde Barbie bombshell, or however you want to view her, ladies and gentlemen, mainly because at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. Many have compared her as a Charlotte mini or a next version of Charlotte. Whatever you want to say, the woman's basically, in a short amount of time, just risen to the cream of the crop. She won the NXT championship this year. She put on not one, but two bangers with Becky Lynch. She literally did everything she could and still continues to do good things. She had a good showing in the Iron Survivor Challenge. I mean, you name it. The list goes on. She's shown that her characters is definitely evolving. She's getting popular more and more by the weeks with the fans. And she's just pretty much ready for the main roster at this point at any given moment. We could see it as soon as the top of next year in the Royal Rumble, for all we know. So with that being said, Tiffany Stratton to me is all deserving of this reward. So I pass it over to Gresh to see who he chooses.
Man, this is pretty much a tough one because I feel like a lot of these, like a lot of your Lash Legends, your Kelani Jordan, your Fallon Henley, they've been showing up at the latter part of 2023. But if you look at the beginning, Tiffany Stratton was cooking. Lyra Valkyria was pretty much finding her footwork until she ran across Becky Lynch and she took the title off her. So it's like, for me, it's a toss-up between Tiffany and Lyra, the current NXT Women's Champion. And as much as I love what they've sort of been doing a little bit, I wouldn't even say love, more so like I like it. What they're sort of doing, like they have her having challenges all over the place. I unfortunately can't give it to Lyra Valkyria because I feel like I agree with your sentiments as far as Tiffany Stratton. She's pretty much she is well improved. Especially after the debacle where she hit the swanton off of the ladder and nobody caught her. But unfortunately, at the deadline pay-per-view, when they did it again, everybody caught her. And I'm like, finally, everybody, and that's the beauty behind them being in NXT. They're learning. They're like, okay, I made this mistake. I survived. I didn't die. So let me go ahead and pick up and make sure I'm not fucking up again. So I'm going to have to agree with you. It's going to have to be another agreement. And I'm going to have to give my vote to Tiffany Stratton.
All right. Props up to Miss Tiffany Stratton for taking home NXT Female Superstar of the Year. Looking forward to where your ceiling goes even into next year, as well as the rest of the ladies in this category. Let's see what happens this time next year. So without further ado, let's get to the next category,
which is none other than the overall superstar of the year. The nominees for this one was a little tricky because we had to kind of pretty much narrow it down to some of the people who were basically trending all over social media and all that stuff. Every time they appeared on the screen, every time they did something, they was always the talk of the town, whether it was good or bad. And we had to narrow it down. And I can tell you right now, CM Punk is not in this category. I know it's surprising the most, but this man spent most of the year injured, so we can't really add that to his merit if he spent the beginning part injured and then came back, got fired, and then now he's back in WWE. So overall superstar Punk will have to wait another year. But the nominees for this year is Roman Reigns, Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins, MJF, Io Sky, Alex Shelley, Christian Cage, Timeless Tony Storm, Trinity, Athena, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch. It's a light list, but these people, only one person can take two titles on, but we'll see. So I let you start the last time. I'm gonna start this time.
All right.
And overall, for me, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. I don't even have to sell it. I don't even have to mention it. I'm just gonna have to flat out and say the overall superstar of the year for me is none other than Athena. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I gotta give my vote to Athena because I feel like if she wasn't hidden behind, and I hate saying hidden because people, if you got the money, you can pay for it. But if she wasn't solely on Ring of Honor, I feel like a lot more people would be praising her. But I'm gonna go ahead and praise her for myself. So Athena, overall superstar of the year. Who you got?
Okay. So before I select, I will say I do have an honorable mention for this list that if I had a choice, if he were in this category, he would have been my winner. But because he's not in this list, I would say he's my honorable mention. And I'm going to say L.A. Knight. Because of the fact that this man rose with literally in a year of time. He went from literally Max Dupree.
Matter of fact, since we live and I'm on the board of directors, he's in the category.
He's a nominee.
We could just write it off as I simply forgot.
Well, that changes things, folks, because now that switches my winner then, because now I'm going to say that my winner is indeed L.A. Knight. Yeah, of course, because I can't forget the yeah. But the reason solely is just in the pudding of the fact that, again, this man went from a gimmick that darn near killed him, a gimmick that he did not want to do. You could see it in his face and his actions, but yet, because he's such a professional, he went through with it. He did it. He was Max Dupree, and he was making the best out of whatever he was given. And when that opportunity seized fit, when suddenly he who shall not be named was out of control, and suddenly Tripp started creeping on in, we started seeing the seeds plant where L.A. Knight was hinted to make a return. And ladies and gentlemen, down the line, before you know it, we started seeing little seeds of, is he going back to the guy that we knew from NXT that we love, L.A. Knight? Is he coming back? Yeah. And he comes back.
Yeah.
And then from that moment,
the
return happens.
Yeah.
He sheds off Max Dupree.
Yeah.
He's L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
He's on a roll.
Yeah.
He's a heel.
Yeah.
He fused with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Some tried to knock the match that him and Bray Wyatt had in the Mountain Dew, pitch black match.
It was kind of boring, but yeah.
But he made it work, given the build up to the match, given the back and forth between him and Bray Wyatt. It kept you interested and intrigued in what this could be.
Yeah.
He goes on.
Yeah.
Becomes one of the hottest acts up and coming.
Yeah.
And before you know it, his stock just kept rising and rising and rising. Before you know it, this man got one of the loudest pops that you could ever receive in a WWE arena.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, before you know it, the movement
movement
was in full effect. Me and this man saw it live and in person at SummerSlam this year. As from that point on to this day, LA Knight has not only become a top guy, but also a main eventer in many cases, teaming with the likes of Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, you name it. Even going up against the tribal chief Roman Reigns, potentially even going against, dare I say, the United States champion Logan Paul at WrestleMania. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to choose LA Knight now that he's been added officially into the category, thanks to the board of directors. And therefore, let's see who wins.
Who wins, LA Knight or Athena?
Athena.
Despite that impactful presentation that Dwayne gave for our boy LA Knight, the wheel has spoken. The overall superstar of the year is none other than
I wish I could spin this thing, but I won't be sour. I'm gonna feel the power. You know what I'm saying? Positivity, the power of positivity. Congrats to Athena.
Everybody in this list deserves to win. Let's be real. Like it's all fun and games. LA Knight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really a big fan of his in-ring work, but he makes up for it by being over and entertaining as hell on the mic. And I can say the same about Stone Cold Steve Austin post neck surgery. So it's like you can't really fault the man. All you have to do is just accept that people love the guy. And honorable mention again, even though he lost, LA Knight definitely is up there as an overall superstar of the year. So
agreed.
Yo, congratulations to Athena though. So,
yes.
The wheel is on my side.
Yeah, we'll see. We still got many categories.
This is true. All right, next up, speaking of categories, might as well go ahead and switch to the breakout situation, the subsection breakout. Moments where people are showing you that even though they didn't make superstar of the year or they didn't have this, they didn't win, lose, they had a breakout moment. Whether it was a breakout moment, breakout superstar, whatever the case may be. So we have three categories under the breakout moments, and that is the first one being the breakout moment of the year, and it's a solid list for those of you who don't know. So breakout moment of the year of 2023, the nominees are Alex Kane becoming MLW World Heavyweight Champion in MLW. Trick Williams breaks away, air quotes, from Carmelo Hayes to prove himself in NXT. Tiffany Stratton wins the NXT Women's Championship. The Creed brothers main roster transition. They've been, in my opinion, has been cooking on the main roster. They've been pretty much been placed in a prominent position in that tag team division. Brody King delivers in the Continental Classic as a solo talent. People been seeing him as a part of the trio House of Black, but he's been cooking in the Continental Classic, which I believe is wrapping up as of tomorrow. So that has been fun to keep up with. Willow Nightingale upsets Mercedes Moné to become the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Maxine Dupree shows potential during debut match. Eddie Kingston defeating Claudio to become ROH World Champion, basically becoming a double champion, that also being the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. And Julia wrestles in America for the first time against Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, and Momo Kogo. My bad. So this is a pretty much stacked situation. And fortunately for you, my brother, you go first.
You know what, brother? I'm glad you got me going first, because I was thinking about this as we went down the list, and I said to myself, I've already got my winner. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I'm torn between two. It took a minute, and there was a third, But my third person got disqualified because, unfortunately for them, in their win, albeit it wasn't upset, it was a bit of an audible call due to the injury of a certain superstar. Who am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? I am talking about Willow Nightingale. Yes, she did have quite a breakout year. Unfortunately, what disqualified it is the latter half of that year, because they haven't really capitalized it since, and that is hurting her a bit. And hopefully going into next year, they can pick up where they left off here and really truly catapult her, because I feel by now she should have been a female LA Knight in a sense, if you think about it, where within this year it should have been like a complete growth, like you were here and now you're here, where I feel like she was here on the rise and then it just kind of got steady, and now it's kind of back to square one a bit, where you're kind of fighting for position again. So Willow, I'm pulling for you. I hope you do get it, but I could not give it to you. So that leads me to the two I was tied with, being the first two nominees in Trick Williams and my boy Alex Kane winning the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. And so between the two, who am I choosing? I choose none other than Mr. Boom Baye, Fight Club himself, Alex Kane. And before anybody says no, this is not a bias pick, because that is the homie. I'm literally saying this because Alex Kane truly does deserve a moment like this. I know that everyone probably doesn't keep up with MLW, but trust me, everyone knows about Alex Kane. Everybody knows about the Boom Baye Fight Club, and everybody knows that this man winning that championship was the moment to set it all up. And so for that, I love you, Trick. Don't worry, there's other categories you're in. But for this one, I got to give it to Alex Kane. Gresh, who you got?
Trick, I love you, brother. Whoop that Trick. What? Whoop that Trick. Yeah.
Get him.
Whoop that Trick.
Yeah.
Whoop that. I like it. Oh, yeah, man. It's catchy. It's catchy. And you still have the opportunity to make 2024 your year. If you take away the theme song and the trick and the whole aesthetics of and the didn't he with Carmelo Hayes, with did he attack him or not? I would be remiss to say that I'm torn between Alex Kane myself as well as Eddie Kingston defeating Claudio to be the Ring of Honor World Champion, because of my investment in Eddie Kingston personally. So, and then me and Alex is the homie, so it's kind of like, man, I'm torn. So, but Eddie, I love you, man. But I'm going with my main man, Alex Kane, winning the MLW World Heavyweight Championship, because it felt right. It took them a long time to finally put the strap on this man. No pause needed, because I said what I said. Mm-hmm. So it's like seeing him evolve, show up, show out. He wrestled with you. I hated that I missed it, but because my car broke down. But he was wrestling out here in Georgia, and from the highlights that I've seen, like the camera footage or fan cam footage, he's been cooking all year, in ring wise, character wise. He's been putting his people on. He's been Boom Baye is for the people, and he says that, and he shows it. He hypes his people up. He shows love where it needs to be. He's not for the drama, the bullshit. It's all about him. It's like, you come at him correct, he'll come right back at you correct. And I'm talking about Alex the person. I'm not even talking about the wrestler. Now I'm talking about the wrestler. And the wrestler himself has been having killers with Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu, all these people, and even local talent that isn't signed to a company like an MLW, NXT, WWE, whatever. So, man, all I gotta say is, as I pick Alex Kane myself, we need to see him in DPW. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, let's make it happen.
I need to see him versus Bojack. I need to see him versus Andrew Everett. I need to see him versus Calvin Tankman for that DPW World's Heavyweight Championship. Do a title. I don't really care, but I need to see that man in DPW at least once. I don't know the MLW situation, but the winner for breakout moment of the year, Alex Kane, becoming the new MLW World Heavyweight Champion. Next up, next up, we have breakout star male, and the nominees are as follows: main event, Jey Uso, Trick Williams, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, Kevin the Jet Knight, Ricky Starks. Absolute. Woo! I'm starting on this one, and it's tough because you know how we was talking about Trick Williams and his theme song. Jay, it's just me, Oos. Jay, what? And he took a 2014 ass song word yeet and brought it back to prominent in WWE bubble because a lot of people outside of WWE bubble they can't fucking stand that word. I don't blame it. It is a stupid word. But it's like also Swerve, he's been cooking in ring to where it's like he's been wrestling for so long, but it's like you can't help but acknowledge that this has been his breakout moment or his breakout year as a talent. And I can go on record and tell people that I was not really. I feel like Tony Khan was dragging his feet with in the past that he's been with AEW, but now with this Continental Classic, I've been made to eat my words and say, "Yo, finally, it's about goddamn time." But for breakout star, if I have to be completely honest with you, I'm gonna have to put my vote in for main event Jey Uso. Ever since breaking away from the blood, I feel like this bloodline story, even though the saga has been going on and has been hitting so many bumps and bump in the road, is pretty much in the post Endgame era where it's just like they're just doing whatever at this point. Main event Jey Uso has been like consistently showing up. He's been getting over with the crowd to the point where it's like you can't help but root for this man. He had that killer match with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship a couple of weeks back after Survivor Series. And even though Drew McIntyre has been a player hater, Jey has been consistent as far as like being kept in that main event position. So at the end of the day, I got to give my vote to main event Jey Uso for just continuing to evolve and grow as a singles talent, even though he's been a tag team specialist for the better part of over a decade.
Okay. Great choice. And brother, I want to agree with that so badly, but I think this might be a Will moment. Mainly and they continue, my friend. So I am going to choose between two people that I had a hard time choosing between, but I'm like, I wanted this to be your moment, but this ain't the one. But I feel like you're in another category, so I promise you, I will pick you in that next category. But for this one, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go with none other than Mr. Swerve Strickland, Swerve Scott, however you want to name it. Why? Because at the end of the day, let's just talk about it, man. I mean, we're talking about a guy that had already been showing you potential of where he was headed when it came to the Keith Lee and him feud from the Swerve in his glory. The moment he kind of started showing those heel tendencies, you knew, okay, this is finally that moment, right? Not to say Swerve in our glory wasn't great. It was great for what it was, and then it got overshadowed by the Acclaim's popularity. But when Swerve slowly kind of started going in that heel bag, we knew, like, it's a matter of time. Took a while. It took a while, but we saw he was having a lot of bangers quietly. And then all of a sudden, he started getting more spotlighted. Suddenly, he got in more feuds. Now we think about matches that he had with the likes of a Daniel Bryan, who we could see run back come to Continental Classic. You never know. We'll find out soon. But Swerve has just been, I mean, Moxley, all the matches in the Continental Classic he's had have been bangers. Roosh, John Moxley, you name it. Hangman Page, you know what I'm saying? Giving their promos and their feuds. Having someone like Prince Nana in your corner who's literally elevating you even more with a dance to your song, not to mention just literally calling you boss and treating you like a boss. You know what I'm saying? The Mogul Embassy making us actually care about them when no one cared about them at one point in time. You know what I mean? And just there were so many things and elements that it was like a slow burn when it came to watching this fire light up. And so for that, I'm sorry. Swerve Strickland, I love Jey Uso. I do enjoy every bit of what you said, but Swerve has got my vote on this. So let's go to the wheel and let's see if fate is on my side.
Let's see. And go.
You know,
it's just me. Ooh. Okay, day one. It's just me. Ooh. So
you know, this is feeling. Man, this is feeling. No.
I am not rigging. I am telling you. I am not rigging.
I demand a recount. No, I'm just playing.
I am not rigging this because what I do is I type it and then I close it and then I take them out. That's really it. I literally erase it. I am not rigging anything. I erase it and then I make the screen go away.
Oh,
I am not rigging nothing. But once again, the wheel is on my side. And my main man who shares my first name, main event Jey Uso, is the male breakout star of the year. Love you, Swerve. We love you've been cooking, but the former right-hand man of the Tribal Chief, the Oos with the juice, the Yeet Master, just gave you the yeet down, as he said. That sounds so stupid. They gave you the yeet down in this category. So once again,
we tried.
Main event Jey Uso, male breakout star. Love you.
Congrats.
Switching over to the female side, the nominees for female breakout star of the year is Maxine Dupri, Kiana James, Lash Legend, Ivy Nile, Julia Hart, Mariah May, Billy Starks, Tiffany Stratton, and Julia Stardom Edition. I'm gonna let you go with this one, my boy. This is your thing. The female is probably your category.
It looks like it, man. You know, I can't keep them off me. But anyways, it's all good, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say that this list is pretty solid as well. And from the looks of what I'm seeing here, there's so many names I want to choose, but given the fact that some of these ladies we haven't seen enough of yet because they just started catching fire either midway through this year or the last quarter of this year, where I'm super excited for them going into next year where they really take off. So with that in accord and in account, I'm going to say my winner of this one is none other than the minion herself, Billy Starks. No one saw that.
All right.
They probably thought I was going to say Tiffany. No, not this time.
Oh, okay.
And my case, I know I got to make my case here. So my case, ladies and gentlemen, is basically simple. All the reasons we've praised Athena. Batman has the Joker. Superman has Lex Luger. You know what I'm saying? Bugs Bunny has Elmer Fudd. Okay? Yeah, I had to go that way. But, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Stone Cold has The Rock. You got to have something for the other. And everything that made Athena's reign, run, everything what it is the perfect minion. None other than the protege, the up-and-comer, Billy Starks. At a young age, at that, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. So the star is completely bright for her. Therefore, being said, my case is made. So, Gresh, I pass it over to you.
And we are more than likely about to go into another draw because my pick is none other than someone who has been showing up and showing out ever since literally all this year. She went from AEW Dark, a mainstay, trying to hone her craft, her character, to practically taking over the House of Black, and is now your current TBS Women's World Champion. She is none other than the Bride of Darkness, the Queen of the Black Throne. She is none other than, she even converted Sky Blue, who sort of fought it off, but got missed it anyway, and now she's a part of her. So now we got
Sky Black.
Sky Black.
Oh yeah, I like Sky Black. I like Sky Black more than Sky Blue.
It's Sky Black.
Well,
But
no.
nevertheless,
In theory.
she's been. It's like, as far as character work, promo work that they've actually given her. Like, they've actually given her custom promo packages. I gotta give my vote to the current TBS Women's Champion, Julia Hart. So we own another tie. We are with another tie. So going to the wheel. What's up with your golden one? I see you in the chat. Going with the wheel, we got what? Billy Starks
and Julia Hart.
Just so you can see me actually doing this, so you won't be like, oh, he's cheating.
I'm joking with you, brother.
He's cheating. So we could say, I'm gonna type this in. I don't know why I said Neil. It's supposed to be a Bill.
I'm just playing with my brother. He knows.
It is Starks with a Z, right?
Yes, from what I see here, I believe I saw an S, but hey, we're good.
Yeah. Y'all know.
Botch is a botch.
Y'all know what it meant. All right, the wheel, ladies and gentlemen, is about to roll in 3, 2, 1. See, it's not rigged. It's not rigged.
What do you know? The wheel is in my favor. Nice. All right. Well,
so none other than Billy Starks, representing Ring of Honor / AEW, is the female breakout star of the year. The wheel is in Dwayne's favor. He's no longer getting screwed out of it. He is literally
corrected.
So
now I will say this: honorable mention for this. I don't know if this counts, but I feel like it does, even though she's been in AEW for a while. But I almost wanted to say an honorable mention there. Possibly could have been Chris Stat.
Oh, of course. She could have even been female superstar of the year.
Yes, because you don't go off beating Jade Cargill twice and not get put in a category for one of those.
And I think that's the only reason why. It's because I try to look at people from the beginning of the year. She was injured.
That is true. That's the reason
why That's the reason why even with Mercedes was in the female superstar of the year.
True.
But Mercedes Moné, but she got injured halfway through. So it's like
that is true.
I had no other choice. So it's like, trust me, if I had my pick, Mercedes would have won, Chris would have won. But it's like I have to take into account of what we see on TV. So there's so many talented men and women in the industry. I feel like we are, as far as in-ring talent, not popularity wise, the wrestling business is booming, has been booming for the past 5 years. So
love it. Keep it up, y'all. Keep it up.
And speaking of keeping up, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to switch back over to the viewer's choice You guys voted over on the website for Return of the Year. This one was a poll, but you also had the option, I believe. I'm probably wrong, but the nominees for Return of the Year, there's a lot of them that didn't get voted, so I didn't add it because if it didn't get a point, it basically lost by default. So it was a lot more than this, but CM Punk returns on Collision had one. CM Punk's return on Collision, John Cena returns for one more run, and Randy Orton scratch that. The Undertaker returns on Raw 30, all tied for 1 point. For 2 points, Randy Orton returns at Survivor Series. For 3 points, Carlito returns at Backlash, and Chris Statlander returns at Double or Nothing, both tied for 3 points. For 11 points, The Rock returns on SmackDown. And for 21 points, CM Punk returns at Survivor Series in the WWE. Therefore, your winner of the viewers' return of the year is none other than CM Punk returning in Chicago this past November at Survivor Series. So,
wow,
you guys voted.
Win back. Punk got his win back on Dwayne. I love it. Wow. Not gonna lie, that's shocking, but not shocking at the same time. You know, it makes sense. It makes sense because you can make an argument on both cases. No one really saw The Rock showing up on SmackDown at that. Arguably one of the best SmackDowns of the year if we had to vote like a show of the year. And then CM Punk making the impossible possible. So I can see exactly why that won. So shout out to the viewers on that one.
Yes, sir. And now switching back over to the host categories, the biggest surprise of the year. The nominees are CM Punk back in the WWE. CM Punk fired from AEW. Vince McMahon sells the company. Vince loses power in said company after he tried to take it back over another way, but it backfired in his face. Cody Rhodes loses at WrestleMania 39. Mercedes Moné joins New Japan Pro Wrestling. Jey Uso leaves the Bloodline. Sami Zayn turns on the Bloodline. Jey Uso chooses his brother over Sami Zayn. And Jimmy Uso turns on his brother Jay at SummerSlam. So I have to go first with this one. And if I'm going to be completely keep it stacked with you, I feel like the biggest surprise, or the second biggest surprise to me, was CM Punk getting fired from AEW, because Tony Khan was that man's biggest fan. Every time they did a press conference or medium scrum, as like they like to say, he was always singing that man's praises. But they fired him with cause, because he stood up for himself. Cry me a river. So there's that. And that was pretty much like, he actually, it's more so a surprise, like, he actually fired him. And not more so like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. So, but for my unanimous win, for biggest surprise, was Cody Rhodes losing at WrestleMania. The reason why I say this is because I feel like they've been building it up for so long for Cody to win, and they just said, "Gotcha, bitch." Solo popped in with a hoodie, even though we saw him get ejected, so you didn't need a hoodie. Came in, thumbed Cody. Roman hit a wound up spear, like he bounced off the ropes, and then 1, 2, 3. I'm like, oh my God. He actually lost. What about you?
So you can make a case for a lot of these on this list. Shout out to 2023 for being a truly surprising year. Part of me almost wanted to say Vince McMahon getting okey-doked because of the fact that it was one thing to step down, but you also kind of had a feeling in the back of your mind like, it's Vince we're talking about here. We know that it's publicity. We know how this works, right? And he did do it, and we had a nice run for a few months where we were like, wow, WWE is so much different with him gone. And then he comes back and everybody just deflates. But the second time around was where the true okie doke was like, oh, snap. No, he's really gone this time. There's no coming back.
No,
like, you got finessed, my guy.
He just can't control shit.
And you got finessed out of your own company because of somebody that you thought was your friend. Like, for real. So that was like the ultimate kick in the balls, if you will, right? But in all honesty, I'm going to go with something totally left. And I'm going to say it is Jimmy Uso turning on his brother Jay. Why? Not because of the fact that we kind of didn't see it coming. It's the fact that we did not see it coming that soon. And it's because of that we were sitting there shocked at the fact of, why did you convince your brother to leave the bloodline to then do this? It made no sense. And they've still tried to justify it since then. And now we're just in cruise control until WrestleMania with this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm choosing that to where we got to go to the wheel and see which one of these actually wins, because I have no idea. The wheel will decide, as my brother Gresh is putting that on full effect right now.
Yeah, there we go. To the wheel we go. Cody Rhodes loses, or Jimmy turns on Jay.
Let's get to the wheel.
One button.
Uh-oh.
There we go. And Jimmy turns on Jay is the biggest surprise of the year, which is a big surprise, but more so because I don't know what the hell they're doing with Jimmy now.
Seriously.
He started the strife in the bloodline with Jay, just to turn on Jay. Because he don't want Jay to be like Roman. But then when Roman appointed the tribal heir, Jimmy was upset that he didn't become the tribal heir. But it's like, bro, you thought Roman forgot that you kicked him in the face and saw it?
Exactly. Wild. Really wild, dude. Who knew?
This is what I mean by when I say the Bloodline Saga is literally on the post-end game chapter. It's doing whatever till we get to our final destination.
Yeah, pretty much. We could have easily put this in the WTF category if we wanted. Just so y'all know. We could have. But this part.
The funny thing is, it kind of is. So, biggest WTF moment of the year. The nominees are as follows. Massive WWE talent releases. They do this every year, and it's always the biggest WTF moment because they do it at the most random time. AEW Texas Chainsaw Death Massacre Death Match with Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett. That entire match. Cash Wheeler Gun Charge. That man is FTR Bullet. Ric Flair signs a multi-year deal with AEW. Okay. Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey's MMA rules match at SummerSlam. That was it was more so, yeah, I understand. Shane McMahon returns at WrestleMania and immediately gets injured. Jimmy Uso leaves the bloodline to rejoin the bloodline a month later. Gable Stevenson's entire debut match against Baron Corbin. Rhea Ripley suplexing Charlotte Flair onto her face at WrestleMania. and then Ricochet and Logan Paul's mid-air collision in the Royal Rumble.
Good
Gable
point.
Stevenson match. Let me go ahead. Matter of fact, fuck it. Matter of fact, I'm going all the way out on the limb. The biggest WTF moment of the year was that Gable Stevenson match. I completely forgot about that match until I read that number. Yes. Gable Stevenson his entire match with Baron Corbin, one of the safest workers in the WWE, can't get a decent match out of you. You are the problem.
You know, brother, it's almost hard to not go against that at all. But I think I will, because I'm sorry. To me, still to this day, the biggest WTF moment is the fact that AEW decided to give us a match of all matches that will never ever live down in AEW history, known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Death Match. Ladies and gentlemen, you got fake blood, fake squeal of the screams from Karen and Jarrett. You've got all kind of chaos, people just jumping and flying through crap, just going through tables, and just everything to truly make this make sense, which made no sense. You got freaking Dollar Tree, Dollar General version of Leatherface coming out with a fake chainsaw. What are we doing here? What was this all about? Please, someone tell me. I mean, it was literally the most talked about match for the most wrong reasons. So
I completely forgot about this match until I read. There's a lot of shit I forgot because it's like I blanked it out of my brain.
I couldn't help but I will never forget that.
I would have put the Shane McMahon injury up there too, because he literally showed up and did a leapfrog and then just said his leg just said pop. So
see, I mean, we don't like when people get injured live.
I don't either. That's the only reason.
I almost it's like I almost want to put that in the LOL category, because
I don't even want to do that, because it's like he got injured.
Right, but it's the way they executed it.
But the way that it happened,
yeah,
because he didn't get injured off of an arm drag, or he didn't get injured from a suplex, or he got injured from jumping too high and landing wrong.
See, it's like, man,
but because of the two-way tie, we got to go right back to the wheel. And who will win this year's biggest WTF moment? Will it be the Texas Chainsaw match, or will it be the Gable Stevenson match? It's funny how it's two matches on this that's about to win.
Which match gets the WTF?
Which match gets the what the fuck is this happening for?
I don't even care who wins. They both deserve it. Let's go.
So let's go ahead and win. Who got this? And it's the Texas Chainsaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leatherface has spoken. Even he agrees.
Even though both were pretty bad.
Oh yes. Yeah, you are always the second number two, Gabe Stevenson. Trust me.
You are my least favorite number two. There's always a good favorite number two, but you are my least favorite number two. I hope I never have to talk about you again. You are
gosh.
And it was an NXT match, and I try not to judge NXT matches. That shit was terrible. But Texas Chainsaw won. So there is your winner, man. But all these deserve to be WTF if you follow along the behind the scenes or in person or on TV. So that's the reason why I love this. Now we're going to step back to two viewers' choice of the year, or viewers' choices categories for this year. And the first one is Tag Team of the Year. Currently tied at 1 point apiece is the Guns, Gates of Agony, Pretty Deadly, Alpha Academy, Street Profits, the Rascals, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, the ABC, and that's it. So all you guys are tied at number 1. You didn't win, but you're still cool. Tied at number 2 is the Judgment Days. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, MK Ultra, and the Young Bucks.
Okay.
With 4 points, FTR. With 5 points, the Motor City Machine Guns. Make sure you guys keep that retrospective I dropped on the main channel. And winning with pretty much a landslide after 42 votes overall. None other than the guys who dethroned the Usos at WrestleMania in the main event of night 1, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with 19 points, is the Viewers' Choice Tag Team of the Year.
Okay.
And speaking of, and keeping it with groups, the Faction of the Year that you guys voted with 43 points. Number 1, the Patriarchy, with 2 points, tied at 2 apiece. Bullet Club Gold and Metaphor. With 4 points, the Mogul Embassy. Honorable mention, someone voted Mogul Embassy with AR Fox. Still don't understand why that was broken up, but
okay, yeah, agreed.
With 5 points, Blackpool Comeback Club. With 10 points, despite all the memes, despite all the annoyance of repeated main events with them, with 10 points, the Judgment Day. Second place. With the number 1 overall faction of the year, as voted by you for the 2nd year in a row. None other than the Bloodline, with 19 points. They had a banger of a beginning year all the way until SummerSlam, and then it just went right down the middle.
Fair enough.
But you guys won. You guys voted. 19 points. The Bloodline is the faction of the year. All right, as we wind down with the congratulations, yeah, clap it up. Clap it up. As we eventually wind down with these categories, we got a decent amount left, but not too much. Next up, we have the LL Award, and the nominees are R-Truth's interactions with the Judgment Day. Oldest and last legend moments from NXT. Leatherface appears in AEW. Adam Copeland, quote unquote, cooks Ricky Starks on the microphone. Rey Mysterio finally whoops his son with a belt. The entire Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus feud. Logan Paul splashes KSI through announce table at WrestleMania. And pretty much every Adam Cole MJF AEW big game. I'll let you go first.
Oh boy, you could laugh a lot at most of these. And you know, after playing it in my head now, especially with me not knowing who the heck this guy was and thinking he was R-Truth for a split second, I might have to go with Logan Paul splashing KSI through that table at WrestleMania, given the fact that this man was literally a black man dressed in a whole blue Prime bottle. Okay? Do you know how goofy you look being a big black man in a big old Prime bottle getting splashed through a table on accident? Yeah. I might have to get that to KSI. I might have to get it to you, bro. Real talk.
So, in other words, we both agree on that because that shit was kind of
because it was like you expected it. You saw it coming. You really slick did. You were like,
saw it coming, but the fact that it actually went
it's like bottles.
And he bounced with it, so it's like, oh, of course, like, yes, this is going to win. So, Logan Paul flashing KSI through the announce table at WrestleMania is a unanimous decision. We don't have to go to the wheel. Let's move on. Extreme hardcore moment of the year. There's a lot of good categories for this one, but we got to go ahead and we had to narrow it down to this number. Hangman Adam Page drinks Swerve Strickland's blood at AEW Full Gear 2023. Ricochet and Logan Paul's Spanish Fly through a table that nearly went haywire at Money in the Bank 2023. Johnny Gargano suplexing Grayson Waller through a pile of chairs at ringside at NXT Stand and Deliver 2023. Then Kingo 630 splashes Kenny Omega through a table on AEW Dynamite March 22nd, 2023. Samoa Joe's Muscle Buster on Darby Allin onto exposed ring wood on AEW Dynamite. Kenny Omega practically topes himself through a table at ringside on AEW Dynamite. MJF tombstones Bryan Danielson through a table at AEW Revolution 2023. Penta Fear Factors basically package pile drove Matt Jackson onto a ladder on AEW Dynamite. Hangman Adam Page, quote unquote, hangs John Moxley at AEW Revolution 2023. And Jungle Boy Jack Perry concerto to Christian Cage at AEW Revolution 2023. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I appreciate all this stuff. I will pick Samoa Joe muscle busting pause Darby Allin onto exposed ring, but it's Darby Allin. Nothing he does makes me go like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, LOL, Darby Allin is trying to die. But without even explaining, it's in the title itself. But the most extreme hardcore moment of the year, it can even go for WTF. Hangman Adam Page drinking Swerve Strickland's blood. That's my hardcore extreme moment of the year. What you got?
Well, brother, yet again, this is a draw type of moment because, to be completely honest with you, like you, I would have said Darby Allin getting a muscle buster through hardwood. Pause. But yet, like you said, Darby does that on a regular basis. When is this man's back never broken? So, hey, we could have easily said his coffin drop through Swerve on the coffin, for crying out loud, right? This man does this all the time. So, like you, it's in the title. You don't drink another man's blood, okay? You just don't. You just don't. Okay? You don't. You know, what did Charlie Murphy try to tell Rick James? You don't slap a man, okay? Well, we here to tell y'all, you don't drink another man's blood. No pause necessary. You don't drink another man's blood. So you, Hangman, you get this award by a long shot. Long shot.
Long shot. Like, bro, there's no question about it. Like, dog, you's a nasty nigga. That's all I can say. Like, I get it. If you into that type of stuff, kudos to you, but that was like a what the fuck? They just violated all these HIPAA violations. It was just crazy. Next up, we have viewers' choice for best Twitter game with 43 votes. The nominees, with tied with 1 point apiece. Zelina Vega and General Booty, aka at Big A under is Chris. For those of you who don't know who that is, Big _ Hero _ Chris. Zelina Vega and Chris. For at 2 points, none other than Taryn at Skinny Mysterio. At 7 points, I don't even know why y'all voted this, but at 7 points, yours truly, at its Gresh, with 7 points. Public Enemies Podcast at the Enemies PE3 with 14 points. And the winner of best Twitter game with 17 points, as voted by you, V, Hang 'em High on Twitter. Unfortunately, for as of now, V has been suspended for whatever the case may be, for I believe some DMCA takedown. I believe he said he's going to announce that he's going to come back, but when he comes back, he's going to probably get a tag that, hey, he won best Twitter game, because that man has been hilarious with the Sonic rings, with the basically having all the wrestlers like Kofi Kingston, Santos Escobar, all these people quote tweeting him, and actually this man got Ski Yee by Sexy Red basically trending #1 for a full ass day by having Jey Uso. He basically dubbed Jey Uso's entrance to Ski Yee. So this man pretty much got it as far as the Twitter game or X, whatever. The mama name Twitter, I'm gonna call him Twitter. So congratulations to V. Hopefully people let him know that Ski, according to I believe Rap Daily or Variety, Ski is according to somebody the rap song of the year. Do with that as you. Next up, you said what?
Quite interesting.
Next up, we have Independent Company of the Year with 43 votes. At second place, Pro Wrestling R with 7 points. And the unanimous winner is none other than Deadlock Pro Wrestling DPW with 36 points. Next year, we're going to have an option for you to select, put your own categories in. But for this year, just to test the words to see what people will vote, Deadlock won by a landslide. So congratulations to them boys, Pulse, John Blood, Tony Pizza Guy, for having another great year of DPW. Mm-hmm. And the last two, viewers' choice for basically this part, I believe. No, scratch that. Disregard. My bad. The last two that we're going to do for right now. We're going to keep it to the indies. Independent Local Wrestler of the Year, male. Last year was Bojack. Let's see who wins this year.
All right.
We have a three-way one tie for Jake Something, Isaiah Bronner, and Matt Cardona. All three have one tie apiece.
Wow.
For a tie of third place at 2 points apiece, Alex Kane, Isaiah Wolf, and Vinny Pacifico, my bad. At second place with 4 points, Jay Bougie. And a landslide with 25 points. And your winner, and for the Independent Local Wrestler of the Year in the male side, none other than the Bounty Hunter, Brian Key, with 25 points.
I like it.
Yeah,
but
man has been cooking.
But does this now mean that a man's title has been taken? Because y'all literally gave the indie god, so we heard, 1 point. So then if it's the landslide and it's 25, he's not the indie god then, right? Wouldn't that mean Brian Keefe's the new indie god? Mm-hmm. I mean, the people have spoken. So, hey, Mr. Cardona, if you happen to come across this, sir, you might want to try to get your title back, because technically speaking, you just lost it.
Yeah.
All due respect, sir.
All due respect to you. So, you melanin deficient hoe. Word out came. For the female star, the female side, for the Independent Local Wrestler of the Year, with 39 points, Jocelyn. I'm tongue tied. My fault. Jocelyn Novario with 1 point. Yamashita with 7 points at third place. Second place, none other than Ruthless Lala with 13 points. And number one with 16 points, none other than Alexis Littlefoot. Shout out to her. I believe I'm following her on social media. She's a cool woman. I believe she just got back from an injury. She had like a injury, but she's back. 2024 will likely be her year. So shout out to Alexis Littlefoot for winning Independent Local Wrestler of the Year, Female Edition. And appreciate y'all for voting for that category.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have the moment where we are going to pay our respects and tribute to what we call the Unleashed Legends, of basically where for the legends or people who left the impact on the entertainment wrestling business, and we want to give honor to them. And this year we have a total of 10 inductees. The first year we had 2, last year we had 3, and this year we have 10. First off, we're going to give our respect to none other than Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. He is the first inductee. The Iron Sheik, Richard Roundtree, Bob Barker, Terry Funk, Ron Jones, DJ Casper, Don West, Jay Briscoe, and last but certainly not least, Mama Gresh herself, Sandra Gresh. Got any thoughts on any of these guys that we basically had to, fortunately and unfortunately, induct into this basically hall?
Yeah, very unfortunate year in wrestling. We lost a lot of real ones. Starting with Jay Briscoe, probably one of the biggest shockers of the year in terms of knowing how much of a family man he was, and now how his brother's carrying on his legacy, learning how to be a singles competitor, as we've seen in the Continental Classic. But then in that same energy and same side, we have Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, and the shock value that brought as well. Also a family man, also nothing but positive words spoken about this man. And for us, a career that was cut way entirely too short. And even now, even as we're getting close to the end of the year, still one that's hard to process and believe that he's actually no longer with us. And then, of course, Don West, man, legend in the game, a true TNA original in terms of commentary. I mean, for TNA, you could say he was their Jim Ross or their Jerry the King Lawler in his own right. You know, he was a personality like no other. And Mike Tenay gave a beautiful speech about him during their Hall of Fame induction at Bound for Glory weekend, and just basically saying that you will never see another guy like a Don West, someone who was a true pioneer in how he came back or how he broke into the wrestling business, despite getting turned down so many different times before actually making it as a personality. So love to everyone on this list, man. These are always tough. Next year, you know, who knows who makes this list as well, unfortunately. But we say this, unfortunately, in a inspirational way, because though they are gone, they are never forgotten. They are forever with us. And everything that they left us with, we carry on, and we look forward to seeing them on the other side as they entertain in the sky.
And continuing their legacy. Like it's a impactful way. Like you could look back, like the impact that Bray Wyatt had on the wrestling industry, the impact that Bob Barker had on households. Like growing up, what was The Price is Right was destination TV. If you had a grandmama that was into her stories. It was The Price is Right, than The Young and the Restless. Terry Funk, that man was basically lying about retiring every other day, but every time he got in that ring, you basically felt something.
Yeah.
DJ Casper, that man's music is being played across every black gathering event. I can't even say a specific. It's like every time you're going to hear that this is something new. The Casper Slide Part 2 featuring the Black Band. Now this time we're going to get funky. So you're going to hear that for generations.
Mm-hmm.
You even got younger generations learning the cha-cha slide.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jay Briscoe. I was late to the party on the Briscoe brothers because I didn't really follow ROH as much. But from what I saw, I'm like, this is the best trilogy I've ever seen live. With them, with the Briscoes and FTR, this is one of the best. And of course, I added my mother on there because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be sitting.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be in, like, Gresh would not exist without Mama Gresh, the right hand, the matriarch of the family. Mm-hmm. So every last person on this list, Don West, this man was pretty much a part of my love-hate relationship with TNA. He was a prominent voice along with Mike Tenay. Mm-hmm. So it's like everybody on this list deserves to be here. When I say unfortunately, because I wish they were still here to get these flowers, but we're still going to give them these flowers regardless. And that's all we can do going forward. So let join us in welcoming these list of 10 into the Unleashed Legends Hall for the end of the year awards. Next up, we have pay-per-view match of the year. This is pretty much new, or pretty much slightly altered from last year, because last year Street Profits versus Uso won. So I broke it down into categories because we have them based off of the companies that they are a part of. So for this one, what I am going to do, we're going to vote on each company because we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies represented. So we're going to vote for one on each, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put it to the wheel to make the ultimate decision. Oh wait, no, scratch that. No, I'm gonna write each one down. Like I said at the beginning, we're live. My fault. We'll write each one down, and then what we're gonna do, each winner of the select companies will then be placed in a separate pool, and we have 30 seconds to explain why this person should win ultimately. And if there is a tiebreaker, then we go to it.
All right, let's do it.
So to start off for pay-per-view match of the year, the nominees for the New Japan subsection is Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 17. Mercedes Moné versus Kairi for the IWGP Women's Championship at Battle in the Valley 2023. Mercedes Moné versus Azumi versus Hazuki for the IWGP Women's Championship at Sakura Genesis 2023. Juice Robinson versus Fred Rosser in a street fight at Resurgence 2023. And Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vagor in the tournament semifinals match at Resurgence 2023. You want to go first on that one?
Yes. My goodness. Very, very, very tough. And although we've admitted that we're not the strongest in JPW watchers, we do still keep up when we can, given that so much wrestling is around. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I gotta give this one to the OG. I gotta give this one to Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 17. As we know, these guys are supposed to have one more match, but due to unfortunate circumstances with Mr. Omega, That is on hold, on pause. We hope that we get that conclusion at some point. But with what we have in the past from these two, they never disappoint. I mean, they are like, as Bruce Lee would say, they're like water. They're in the cup. They're there. You know what I mean? They float. They naturally just gel, and they know how to put on a classic. So for that, give me Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom 17.
And I'm gonna keep it a stack. As much as I enjoyed all of Mercedes matches, so that we got to see in New Japan, I might have to agree with you on this one and give my vote for Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. As much as I enjoyed the sequel, that original one,
yeah,
that was something special.
Yeah, man.
That was something special. So for this one, for this category, we're on for the New Japan category. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP Championship, IWGP US Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 17 has been automatically advanced to the next round. For the WWE category, we have the nominees for this one: Women's Royal Rumble match. Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Elimination Chamber 2023. Drew McIntyre versus Gunther versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 39. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown/Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 39. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania 39. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan Puerto Rico street fight at Backlash 2023. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw/WWE Women's Championship at Backlash 2023. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos in the Bloodline Civil War at Money in the Bank 2023. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam 2023. Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam 2023. Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a street fight for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship at Payback. Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch inside of a steel cage at Payback, and the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series. So for this one, it's going to be tough because I know, and as much as I love the Bloodline Civil War, the reason why I'm not going with this is because of the follow-up, with them overcomplicating the Bloodline, with Jimmy initiating the turn on Roman just for him to go back. So I'm gonna have to go. As much as I know a lot of people don't like this particular match, but if you look at the match itself, it was structured great. The outcome just threw everybody off, and I'm gonna have to go for this one to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship at WrestleMania 30. Who you got?
Okay. Solid list. But I am going to have to go. You know what? I'm going to have to go with the Civil War from the Bloodline. And although I do understand where you come from with the follow-up, what does not change the fact of what makes this match what it was is that we witnessed Roman actually get pinned for the first time in years. That outcome alone just blew the roof off. And no one probably saw that coming at all, to be honest. Arguably could have been in shocker of the year kind of levels because of that alone and what it actually did for Jey Uso's career in when we mentioned breakout superstar. So because of that factor, I look at the elements, the build up to it, the fact that the Usos were basically, dare I say, exiled from the bloodline for a minute, given losing the tag team titles and what led to that. I almost wanted to put KO and Sami Zayn against the Usos in this because that also was an arguable moment. But I give the edge to the Civil War because, again, of that Roman factor that we literally may not have seen him lose this title yet, but we have seen this man pinned in 2023. So let that sink in, people. Roman has not lost the belt this year, but he has suffered a clean pinfall in this year. For that, I got to give it to the Bloodline Civil War.
All right. So with that, now the both of those matches that we picked, it advances to the next round. It automatically becomes to the group. Next up, we have for NXT, Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller in an unsanctioned match at Stand and Deliver. Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver. Wesley versus Tyler Bate versus Joe Gacy for the NXT North American Championship at Battleground. Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak in a last man standing match at Battleground. Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport in a Weapons Wild match at Great American Bash. Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Wesley versus Mustafa Ali for the NXT North American Championship at Great American Bash. Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship at Great American Bash. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo versus the Creed Brothers versus OTM for the NXT Tag Team Championship at No Mercy. Noam Dar versus Butch for the NXT Heritage Cup at No Mercy. Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship at No Mercy. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton in Extreme Rules match for the NXT Women's Championship at No Mercy. And the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline 2023. I'm looking for it.
Ooh, okay. Not gonna hold you. Call me a bit of a prisoner of the moment. But everybody's a sucker for a good story in a match. And one thing I know that I enjoy, I can speak for myself here. One thing I sure as heck enjoy is a roller coaster in a match where your mind thinks one thing, suddenly in a matter of minutes thinks a whole nother thing. You gasp for air, and then you're like, oh God, thank God. And then before you know it, you're either angry, then you're shocked, then you're hype, and then you're extremely in levels of complete mark. So, with that being said, I gotta go with the Men's Iron Survivor match. The emotion from the fans being sucked the life out of slowly to the LeBron James-esque in 2016 with the Cavaliers beating the darn near unstoppable Warriors at that time, 72 and 73 and 9. It was written. You couldn't write it any better than you did, man. So I had to throw that name in the hat. So Gresh, who you got, sir?
This is pretty much not even a challenge to explain. The Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. That's what I can go to. If you can call it recency bias, like recency bias or whatever it can be, but being so emotionally invested in this match, assuming that Trick is literally going to get no pin, and literally within the span of a minute or less, Bam, 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 and everything. It's like that's the thing about the Iron Survivor Challenge. There's no room for error. No one could afford to fuck up. And every last one of them hit that point. And the fact that he got the pin over Braun Breaker of all people,
yes,
just solidified that moment. So I'm definitely going to give the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge to advance to the final round.
I'm with it.
Next up, we have for AEW. Due to AEW World's End happening this coming Saturday on December 30th, none of those matches are eligible. So this list is pretty stacked. So we're going to try to run through this real quick. MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship at Revolution. MJF versus Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry in the Four Pillars match for the AEW World Championship at Double or Nothing. Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega 2 for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door 2023. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. versus Katsuyori Shibata versus Daniel Garcia for the AEW International Championship at Forbidden Door. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door. CM Punk versus Samoa Joe for the Real World Championship at All In 2023. CM Punk's final AEW match. Adam Cole and MJF versus Aussie Open for the ROH World Tag Team Championship at All In. Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho at All In. Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho for the AEW TBS Women's Championship at All Out. Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks in a no DQ strap match at All Out. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs at All Out. Konosuke Takeshita versus Kenny Omega at All Out. Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW International Championship at All Out. Christian Cage versus Darby Allin in a best 2 out of 3 falls match at for the AEW TBS Championship at Wrestle Dream. Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship at Full Gear 2023. Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus LFI versus FTR versus Kings of the Black Throne for the AEW Tag Team Championship at Full Gear in the ladder match. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas Death Match at Full Gear. Chris Statlander versus Sky Blue versus Julia Hart for the TBS Championship at Full Gear. Timeless Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship at Full Gear. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one, and I'm gonna keep it stacked with you. I love this match, even to this day. When I look back on it, it was a tie between Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley, the first one at All Out, and the 60-minute Iron Man match. And I'm going to stand on business and let you guys know that my pick for this one is Bryan Danielson versus MJF in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. That was a classic. Who you got?
Oh boy. So for me, also kind of in a split decision kind of thing where I was torn between these two, between the Texas Death Match between Swerve and Hangman Adam Page, or my winner of this, because I got to give it to him, also a match that was very insane and classic in its own right. I got to give this to Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks, no DQ strap match at All Out 2023.
That's your pick?
That's my pick, man. That match.
Like Bryan Danielson, pretty much you got 2 matches in the category. Like, I believe this is the first person to have 2. And even though that Swerve and Hangman match was exceptionally crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that Iron Man match. I'm standing on business. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that strap match, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. Like, it made Ricky Starks the truth, at that point. Like, in ring wise.
Didn't he choke out? Like, didn't he just like
yeah, darn near. He like, you know what I'm saying? He had to get that man with the strap one time, pun intended.
All right, so we got two more companies, and then we're going to do the overall vote. For Impact Wrestling, we have 7 matches that are nominated. Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey at Bound for Glory. Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray for the Impact World Championship at Hard to Kill. Jordan Grace versus Mickey James for the Impact Knockouts World Championship at Hard to Kill. Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards at Hard to Kill. Trey Miguel versus Chris Sabin for the Impact X Division Championship at Under Siege. Josh Alexander versus Rich Swan, for the Impact World Championship at No Surrender. Jonathan Gresham versus Speedball Mike Bailey at Sacrifice. Trinity versus Mickey James for the Impact Knockouts World Championship at Bound for Glory. You go first on this one.
Okay, so lots of ones to choose from here. And though I do and did enjoy the feud between Josh Alexander and Bully Ray as far as their build and even that overall matchup, I gotta give this to my guys, Will Ospreay and Speedball Mike Bailey at Bound for Glory 2023. I mean, Will Ospreay, arguably, I didn't get to say this earlier, was before we added that newly found category split decision co-winner, I guess, second place. Will Ospreay was going to be my superstar of the year at one point, honestly, because of the fact that this man has arguably been the hottest free agent on the wrestling scene this year.
Even though he's been technically still signed to New Japan, but
to a degree, in a sense, yeah. So he's been on a world tour. We can't deny that. I mean, AEW, New Japan, Impact. This man's literally been a little bit of everywhere, putting on bangers with everybody. And so with that, yeah, man. And Mike Bailey, Speedball. I mean, come on, man. This guy is like TNA's version of Bryan Danielson. This man just doesn't know how to put on a bad match with anybody. So that being said, man, give me that pick.
And I might have to bounce back off you with that one, because I remember watching that match live. At one point, I believe people saw it on the Impact, but I actually watched it live. No, I lied. Sorry. I watched it the next day, and then I watched it on Impact when they did the recap, and it was great both times. So I have to agree with you on that. Give me Speedball Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay for the Impact side of this category.
Let's do it.
And last but certainly not least, we only have 3 for Ring of Honor because, like I said, a lot of people don't really follow Ring of Honor. We don't really have that much type of time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can only consume so much wrestling. But the 3 matches we have is Athena versus Willow Nightingale at Death Before Dishonor. We said Super Card of Honor. It's Death Before Dishonor early in the show. That's where the match happened. Keith Lee versus Shane Taylor at Final Battle, and Athena versus Billy Starks at Final Battle.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep it stacked. I'm gonna keep it quick.
Go ahead.
My pick for this one is Athena versus Willow Nightingale. Their styles meshed well. They clicked. I loved every single second of it. That is my pick. I'm standing on that bitch.
Brother, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm right there with you, man. Shout out to Keith Lee and Shane Taylor for putting on for the big men's. You know what I'm saying? Letting them know, hey, it's more to us than size, than the stature. But that being said, like you, brother, I got to give this one to Athena versus Willow Nightingale, man. They worked. They have a chemistry. I want to see them run it back at some point. Also, adding to the point of what we said earlier, what's going on? It adds to the effect of what we were talking about earlier, man. Willow Nightingale's stock was going in such the right direction, and this was part of the reason why. So we need this to run it back so we can get her back on track. That being said, let's go with it.
All right. So now that we have picked for each company, we are now down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches overall across all companies. And now we have up to 30 seconds to basically stand on business and make our pick or throw it out the way. So for the overall, for those, just a reminder, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay won for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos, the Bloodline Civil War, and Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39. The Men's Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline. MJF versus Bryan Danielson in 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Revolution. Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks in a no DQ strap match at All Out. Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey at Bound for Glory 2023, and Athena versus Willow Nightingale at Death Before Dishonor. Brother, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think I will go first on this one, man. This is gonna be crazy, but you know what? At the end of the day, I am going to go with the NXT Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Again, man, the story wrote itself. You cannot book a better match than the way you did here. I realize some people look at NXT, it's not their cup of tea per se, but you got to understand there are certain matches you have to watch sometimes, and this is one of them because, again, now, if you don't know the story, you can't invest in the story. However, even if you didn't know the build up to this match, you can still watch this match not knowing any bit of why the crowd was so invested in Trick Williams and the story behind it all, including the men in the match having their own reasons to win, and still be invested. Like, wow, how did they do this? All due respect to the rest of the matches. They all bang. They all told stories, but some of them had bad buildups to their story, or some of them probably just didn't work. I mean, I could have made a case for the Bloodline Civil War. We saw how hot that was going into it. But as you mentioned, what kind of disqualifies it is the way it kind of finished after the fact. So give me the NXT Men's Iron Survivor Challenge.
Well, it's looking like we're about to go to the wheel because I am standing on business and saying MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Fair.
Trumped all these other matches. It's like there was moments like for starters, people got to know I'm a Bryan Danielson guy, so of course. But then when you actually break down the match and actually for 160 minutes is a big ask to ask your viewing audience to sit through for an hour. And they actually went not only an hour, they went to sudden death and delivered. I talked about Bobby Roode versus AJ Styles on my last retrospective that I did for 2 weeks ago, where I wasn't a fan of them doing a sudden death on Impact instead of right then and there because it feels like they would have cheaped out, like the crowd basically spent their money for a draw. It's like you have that sudden death immediately. And that's what they did. Like it was like MJF was crying, legitimately crying of exhaustion, and Bryan was smiling from ear to ear because he was like, "I'm not even tired yet. Like, let's keep going." And Max is like, "What the fuck?" That type of shit I love. So I'm standing on business with Bryan versus MJF. You doing the Men's Iron Survivor, and Mr. Will, come on in. And
Come on in.
Let us do it, and let's see who becomes the pay-per-view match of the so many great matches, but it only comes down to one. Let's go.
Bryan
match
versus MJF.
Oh, business with Bryan Danielson versus MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the 60-minute Iron Man match, which included a 5-minute, I believe, sudden death, so 65 minutes. So that was all matches, like I said, was great matches that I can literally watch back. I can still watch back the Bloodline Civil War to this day. I can watch back the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge because that was some great shit. Hell, I can even give my honorable mention award to Athena versus Willow Nightingale. That was some great shit. But overall, MJF versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship in a 60-minute Iron Man match is the pay-per-view match of the year. Next up, we have make sure to go back to my regular notes. Next up, we have the TV match of the year. And the nominees are as follows. AEW On Dynamite, Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe for the TNT Championship. Will Ospreay versus Josh Alexander. Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita. Tasha Steelz versus Deonna Purrazzo. Kevin the Jet Knight versus Moose. Kenny Omega versus John Moxley inside of a steel cage. Mercedes Martinez versus Willow Nightingale. Imperium versus DIY in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. MJF versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. Seth freaking Rollins versus Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight Championship. Bryan Danielson versus Roosh. Noam Dar versus Chad Gable for the Heritage Cup. Alex Shelley versus Jonathan Gresham for the Impact World Championship. Kenny Omega versus Ben Kingo. Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia. And Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Who you got?
Oh man, I am looking at this and boy, I'm having a moment. First off, I want to shout out my bro, my boy, my guy, Kevin the Jet Knight, for even just making this category, man. Brother, I salute you. You are well on your way. You've been showing people in Impact Wrestling and in New Japan, because not many brothers are being represented out there, and you representing for us brothers are doing their thing, and I'm happy with what you're doing with Kushida and what you're doing with everything that you're doing out there, even on a solo run, just proving how great and how much of the future you are in pro wrestling. But with that said, I gotta give this one to MJF versus Kenny Omega at AEW Collision. Just off the build, man, the way that was built was just so smooth. Given that MJF was, I mean, MJF cutting that promo and letting them know, a few more days, you know what I'm saying? Letting them know, like,
the simplicity of it,
and the fact that Kenny Omega's like, word, okay, we'll see about that. And the fact that we now forever have the debate, who was the greatest AEW World Champion? Was it Kenny Omega? Was it MJF? Some may even say, was it Adam Page? We won't know, but it's in the air based off preference. And so this match was like, for a TV match, because it was just like, you didn't need to tell much to the story. It told itself. Kind of reminded me of when the New Day was trying to protect their record of the longest tag team champions versus the Usos. Got what you needed. You know what I mean? I see Gresh typing, so let's get to Gresh. What do you got for best TV match, my friend?
I'm gonna keep it straight to the point. I gotta give it to Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita. Keep butchering this man's name, but I mean, I definitely give that match because it was before whatever they're doing with Don Callis and him. I don't know what they're doing with him. Hopefully they hit the reset button and we just forget that this feud ever happened, because what the hell. But Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita is my pick for match of the year for sure. For sure. For sure. So with that being said, we're gonna have to switch back over to the wheel. And I didn't have too much time to type, but you know what it means. So let's go ahead and are we doing Bryan Danielson or MJF versus Kenny Omega? Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita or MJF versus Kenny? Let us take the wheel. Jesus.
Oh, so close. Yikes. So close.
You saw how it slowed down too?
That was close. I thought it was gonna land like right in the middle where you couldn't even tell. Like that was
psych.
That was close.
But Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita is literally the TV match of the year. I meant Bryan Danielson, but like I said, it was too much to type, so I just say, you know what I meant. But nevertheless, that is the TV match of the year. The wheel literally has been shaking up our foundations for all of our picks. Every pick has made sense. Every match on here made sense, but the will made the ultimate decision. Next up, we have 4 more categories before we get up out of here for part 1. Part 2 definitely drops sometime this week. Next up, we have entrance of the year, because you know how we are. We love to praise music, rock the music, and all that good stuff. But you know, we got to give the praise to the entrance of the year. And the nominees are Bad Bunny at Backlash 2023, The Usos at Money in the Bank 2023, Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 39, Trick Williams at NXT No Mercy, American Badass Undertaker on Raw is 30, Swerve Strickland featuring Prince Nana and the Dancers at AEW Full Gear, Rey Mysterio featuring Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania 39, Dominic Mysterio's jail theme at WrestleMania 39, Sami Zayn returns home on the SmackDown Before Elimination Chamber 2023, Brood Edge at WrestleMania 39, Bryan Danielson's final countdown at AEW Forbidden Door 2, Jay Uso. What was that, Forbidden Door, or was that All Out? Was that Forbidden Door? I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All out, and
Oh,
Forbidden Door. It was both of them.
It was both of them. Okay. So, yeah, same one. Jay Uso, main event Jay Uso, his solo one, and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 39. And I'm going to go first with this one being, I'm sorry to the actual main wrestlers, but I gotta go with Bad Bunny at Backlash 2023. I'm sorry. Jabea. You go, my brother. You go.
You know, I almost could go and rival you with this because I almost would like to go with Rey Mysterio. I was not trying to rhyme on purpose when I said that, people. It just kind of happens. But I mean, Big Snoop Dogg, Low Rider, you know what I'm saying? My guy. You already know what's up. Shout out to Kevin Knight again. Love you, bro. But yeah, man, I almost wanted to go with Rey Mysterio just off the pop that the Eddie Guerrero side of it got first, before leading into getting that West Side coming out. But much like you, brother, believe it or not, right off top, sorry, Bad Bunny takes the win because Puerto Rico showed y'all what happens when they have a hero, a hometown hero, and they let y'all know we Puerto Rican, baby. We don't play. So, hey, Bad Bunny, he takes the win for this one, y'all. Interest of the year. Point.
All right. And the last 3 for part 1 of the end of the year awards is strictly viewers' choice. First up, viewers' pay-per-view of the year with 37 points. Tying in at 1 point apiece, ROH Final Battle, AEW All In, and TNA or Impact this year Slammiversary. And number 2 with 2 points apiece, Survivor Series with 6 points apiece, or 6 points, WrestleMania 39. In second place with 11 points, Backlash in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Backlash 2023. And winning with 15 points overall is AEW Wrestle Dream.
Wow.
You guys voted. That's what you picked for.
Wow. Wrestle Dream. Okay. Wow. Was not expecting that one. I was not expecting that one. My goodness.
Next up, we have Best Podcast of the Year, Viewers' Choice, with 43 total points overall.
Ooh, nice.
Tied in at 1 apiece, Steel Steps, Party Wrestling Podcast, and
Okay,
Life's a Box Podcast.
okay, okay,
With 2 points, Those Wrestling Girls Podcast,
okay,
and the Jobber Tears Podcast with 2 points apiece.
okay.
And tied in with 13 points apiece is the GRESH Unleashed Podcast and the Public Enemies Podcast. And I could have let this stick with a tie, but seeing as people voted for one of the Public Enemies Podcast subsidiaries being All Elite with Keats
Mm-hmm.
with a total of 3, I decided to, as an honorary main member of the board of directors of Freepedia, I have to let our guests pick up the win on this one. So with a total of 16 points, the Public Enemies Podcast is best podcast of 2023. And I appreciate you guys for voting for yours truly, but I just got back in the game. They've been killing it since day one this year. So it only made sense to let
Big
them
facts.
take the dub.
Big facts.
Only made sense.
But shout out to everybody in the categories, man. Best of wishes going into 2024, man. Let's make 2024 epic.
All of our years, so that it could be a full 5-way tie for best.
You feel me?
We all gonna be cooking it.
Let's do it.
And then last but certainly not least for this part is viewers hater of the year. You know, the guy that is always hating. Always hating, but the viewers' choice for this year with 43 points in total overall. So tied in at 1 point apiece, Brock Lesnar in the WWE, Grayson Waller, WWE Athena, AEW ROH, Paul Heyman in WWE, and Swerve and Christian both got a point. We'll talk about that. So basically, Swerve and Christian, someone voted for both Swerve and Christian. So like they literally typed in Swerve and Christian. So what I'm going to do is add a point to both names. So Swerve, whatever Swerve's initial point, +1. Whatever Christian Cage's initial point, +1.
Mm-hmm.
So tied at number 2 with 2 apiece, Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. The third place, Nigel McGuinness in AEW with 3 points. And in second place, despite being added at 1 point, Swerve Strickland with 7 points overall. And winning the Viewers' Choice Hater of the Year is none other than the patriarch himself, Christian Cage, with a total overall of 26 points.
My goodness.
They say Christian Cage is the hater of the year, ladies and gentlemen.
Pretty sure he accepts that with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, the Player Haters Ball Champion of them all.
With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed part 1 of the end of the year awards. Part 2 will culminate over on the Lights of Box podcast. Direct links coming soon. That will not be live. That will be pre-taped for obvious reasons. But make sure you guys tap into that so the rest of your votes can be heard. Best fan reaction of the year, botch of the year, mic drop moment of the year, best mic game, best women's division of the year, best tag team division of the year, theme song of the year, announced team of the year, viewers pay-per-view match of the year, viewers TV match of the year. So much going on in part 2. This has only been part 1. We've been here for nearly 3 hours, but it's been a fun time. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But before we get up out of here, it is only customary that we give you guys our song of the week. You want to go first, my brother?
Yes, sir, my brother. Without further ado, I'm gonna go with the song. Your boy was bowling over the weekend and heard something playing. You know how bowling do. They play a little something on the playlist while you're doing your thing. Heard a song and said, I ain't heard this joint in a minute. I forgot all about this song. So my song of the week goes to none other than Forever by Chris Breezy himself.
No, you going Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Forever Chris Brown. Forever. What year did that come out?
Ooh, like 20. That was still Pop Chris. So that had to be like 2014, I think.
Okay.
I want to say. I might have to, we live, so I'm gonna have to look that up, y'all. But
yeah, I'll definitely, when we post it on social media, I'll definitely you'll know. And for my song of the week for this week is none other than Too Close by Next. Once you hear that song, it was a bop. I literally listened to it on the plane ride back, and I just so happened to run across it and I put it on shuffle in my GRESH Road 2023 playlist. I got an update for 2024 playlist because this year's almost over. But those are our songs of the week, and hopefully you guys enjoyed part one of the end of the year awards. Likely this will be the final episode of the GRESH Unleashed podcast for 2023. It's still to be determined on if we will cover the World's End pay-per-view from AEW. That will be to be determined. We will let you guys know by Friday. If you don't get nothing by Friday, we're not doing it. If you get something by Friday, then we're doing it. But as of now, that is still to be determined. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the GRESH Unleashed podcast. Make sure you guys follow yours truly at @GRESH on Twitter, Josh Gresham ORG on everywhere else, Joshua Gresham ORG on Facebook, or the Gresham brand, or simply follow the podcast itself at GRESH Unleashed on www.gressunleashed.com. Where can they finally follow your content, Mr. Highlight View?
Yes, sir. Follow all things at Highlight Life, HILITE Life, or you can go follow all things at the Life Sabaj podcast. I would hope you follow because that's where we're doing part 2 to this thing. Go make sure you follow all things Life Sabaj podcast, and of course, our platform behind the platform, OTS Media Co. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. And thank you for tuning into part 1 of the End of the Year Awards. Don't go anywhere. Click over to the Life's a Box podcast and make sure you guys tune into part 2. And with that being said, hopefully you guys have a happy New Year. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Christmas break that was literally yesterday. Hopefully I enjoyed it myself. Yours truly. Will a GRESH family podcast happen in the future? Yes, indeed. When will it happen? To be determined, but it will happen. I will tell you this right now. It will be the most chaotic episode you've ever seen.
Come on now.
That's all I'm going to say. Because you think I'm insane, add 2 more. Make that clear.
Love it.
Say about that. We all have the same face, but at the same time we have similar personalities. We sync together like peanut butter and jelly. But with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. Remember to always show true love to each other. Love your neighbors. Love everyone as if you want to love yourself. Show everyone that you come across with respect. And whatever lessons you learned in 2023, take that into 2024 and beyond, because we can only grow if we are genuine with showing each other growth. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. I said grace. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out. Y'all be crazy.